Hi everyone, it's Sandy. Thank you for joining me here on my channel. I thought I would make myself a larger size document file folder instead of the smaller size that I generally would make. And I thought I would make one that would fit like a letter size or an A4 size document paper, and then it'll be a great way to store them in this folder, and then you can keep them all organized. And it was a great size. I'm quite happy with the size, and I'm going to show you how you could make one of these as well if you wanted to make one to keep all of your receipts or documents or letters inside one of these folders. And then what I also done was created like a tab up the top here by adding another piece, and this would make a great way where you can add a label and label each folder, and then you can stack them all in a file system, and then you know what each folder will hold inside. So this one could be for all of your car registration papers, or car insurance receipts, and all of that sort of stuff in here. Or you could use this for your other documents, photos, or anything you like, because it is a large size. And you can also add another front pocket here. This is an optional part. I just decided to add another front side pocket to the cover just to make it more decorative, and also just another spot to add. For example, I've made a large size envelope here where you could put in here some receipts or other paper documents in here if you wanted to. This would also be a good size for your photos if you want to add photos as somewhere to store them, and that can just fit in there like that. So it is a nice large one. And then on the inside, it opens up to another pocket here, and it just so happens to be able to fit your 6x8 size papers. So here I have 3, maybe 4 6x8 papers, and then I've got a hidden paper clip that I made, and I embellished the front, and I thought this was just a great way to hold your papers in place, and then they can just fit in here like that. And then I just had one of these cut aparts on my desk, so that was just somewhere I thought I'd just place that in that pocket. And then there's also another little tuck pocket here for other bits and pieces you may want to tuck in here. I've just made a little tag, and that just goes in there like that. So it is nice and roomy in here, so you can still add more papers in here. And I'm also going to show you how to make one in this video if you wanted to make this large size. I also added a belly band to the next pocket, and I just cut a strip of paper and glued the top and the bottom. Just another spot if you have something that you may want to slide in here, maybe a brochure, some pamphlets, they can probably go in there. I just placed one of my vellum pockets that I had made not too long ago, and then there's also another pocket here at the back. Let me just show you. Oh, anyway, so there is a tag in here so you can see. So there is a pocket there for more of your, maybe more receipts or business cards, and that can just go in there like that. And then over here is another pocket. So these are a couple of papers that I've just folded in half, so it's more for documents that you're able to fold in half. So it's just a great way to store them. This is a paper that I cut to size of a letter size document paper, or a letter size paper, 8.5 by 11 inches, and I folded that in half just so you could see that it fits in there nicely. And this is an A4 size. Here in Australia we use A4 size papers for letters and receipts. Some receipts are this size as well, or documents, or even things that are like letters, they can go in here. So that was, I folded that in half, and that also fits in here as well. So you can fit a letter size or an A4 size paper folded in half and they go in there like that, and so it just holds everything in place. And that's your back. And then I just decorated the front with a little dangle that I made, and I also made this cute little I don't know what, little bow, frilled bow, and that was just a fun way to decorate the cover or on top of the tab. So it's a good size, and I just thought I'd make one if you wanted to make something with your papers for your larger size documents or somewhere to store them all. So I've got my pieces of paper here, and I'm going to show you how to make it. So with this part, which is the cover, the front pocket, if you don't want to add that piece, you can skip this part. But for this one, you want to cut that at 2.5 inches by 9.5 inches. So it's 2.5 inches by 9.5 inches. This is for the front pocket. And then this is for the back part, which is this part. And I use single-sided paper. I could have actually put this one facing on the inside. That way you don't see the white part. So you can decide if you want the white part showing or the printed part at the back. But you want that piece to be cut at 6.5 inches by 9.5 inches. And that was a single-sided paper. And then the cover for your document folio folder for this part, you want to cut that at 9.5 inches by 12 inches. And one more piece of paper. This is also just an extra add-on, which is this part here for the tab part, if you wanted to add that. And that's cut at 1.5 inches by 6 inches. So in total, you'll need 4 pieces of papers. So you've got your cover. This is for the back part. You can have it facing either way. I'm actually going to have it that way. And then this is for the pocket. And then for the tab part on the top. So that's all you need. So we're going to go and start making some score lines, and we'll put it together. It's actually quite easy to put together. We'll grab the smaller piece first, which is this one. So you just decide what part you want for this part showing. I've got mine with the print at the back. And all you go to, so I'm going to do the same. I might have that with the print at the back. Yeah, I'll do that with the back. So I'm going to, actually this one doesn't need to be scored, sorry. That one just gets left on its own. Sorry about that. I've just made this once, so I'm just still trying to remember how to put it together. And this is for the front pocket. So we've got these 2 pieces. Okay, so this is the cover. We'll grab this little piece. We're just going to score this in half. So on the 1.5 inch side, I'm just going to score that at 3/4 inches all the way down. So we'll put that to the side for now. And then with this piece, you're going to have your cover facing up. And on the 9 inch side, you're going to score at 2.5 inches all the way down. And then we're going to turn this around to the 12 inch side, and we're going to score that. Yeah, I've just forgotten the score lines for that. Sorry. I'm going to go that way, and it was 9.5 inches. And it's 9.5 inches. I'm sorry for all the fumbling around. So I'll just bring this back over just so you know. So on the 9 inch side, it was 2.5 inches all the way down to the bottom. We're going to turn this around to the 12 inch side. Mine's a little bit shorter than 12 inches. And you're going to score that at 9.5 inches all the way to the bottom. So that's all the scoring, just the cover only. The tab for the top, if that's what you want to add. Let's grab those pieces back. And then what we're going to do here, of course I have to pick a paper where you can't see the score lines, but let me just bring it this way. I'm hoping you can see the score line. You've got a score line that's down the bottom here, and there should be a score line. I'm just going to fold it so you can see. There is a score line here and a score line there. You're just going to cut from there across to that score line. You're only making one cut. I'm just going to fold this so you can see, just to make it easy. I'm hoping you can see that score line. I'm just going to cut all the way and stop at that score line, just like that. And all we're going to do here is we're going to fold this piece up. And you want to really press that down. And then that piece here that we've just cut that across, we're going to fold that back towards you and do that. And that's going to give us that little side pocket when you have a little tag for the tag over here. So you can see that's how we will look. And I'm just going to fold this over just so you can see how it looks. We'll just fold this over now, just so you can see all the score lines and where they all meet. Okay, so that's part's done. We're just going to assemble this part now for the pocket so we can get that put together. And if you have a circle punch, and if you wanted to create a notch on this part, you can do that first. So I'm just going to do that. So what we'll do first, we'll glue this one first. And it's just simply gluing the top and the bottom. And that will give you that little pocket for your tag or your smaller bits and pieces. And open this up and glue this side down. So now you'll have yourself, oh sorry, I've got to glue this side as well. So now we've got that glued down, and then we've got this part, and then we're going to add glue up the top there all the way down to there and the bottom. And then just gluing, adding glue to the side all the way down. And then we grab that other piece here that was at 6.5 inches by 9 inches. So you can have it that way if you wanted to, or that way. I'm actually going to have it this way facing so you can see the pattern. And all we're doing is we want to just, it depends which way you like, easier for you. We just want to line that up. So this is going to be the back. And then this is the front. Just open that up. Just try to line your papers as best you can. And then you have that side pocket there. And this is your cover. Just trying to get all the papers to line up. And if it doesn't line up, we can always trim it down. Just going to just put this out a bit and start again here. And that part is all done. So now you've got yourself a folio folder to put your documents in here. So that will just fit in there like that. And then you've got yourself on this side, you've got that little side pocket. And then you've got that option if you wanted to add, oh, I did make a mistake. I didn't make a mistake, I missed one part. Before we glue this down, we should put this one first. So I'm just going to remove that just quickly before it dries up. Sorry about that. So you have your piece here for the tab, and you want to cut that at that 1.5 inches by 6 inches, and then just folding that in half. It's probably best to glue this to the back part first before you add it onto the cover. Just to make it easy. And I'm just going to corner around these two corners just to make it neat. If you wanted to, you could have it on the side here if you don't want it on the top. So you can have a side tab. So you can decide where you want it. But let's put this one on the top. Or you can make it shorter. You don't even have to make it this long. But I had some 6 by 6 paper, and I just thought I'll just use it with the 6 inch in length and then cut it. So I'm just going to place that and center it. Because when I made this one here, I originally didn't add this on. It was after I made it, I thought, oh, I might just decorate the top. And that's why I just realized I forgot to take the pocket part out before I glued it. And then I had to take it back out and re-glue it again. And then you can now seal that off. And then you've got yourself like a tab up the top. And so once you've done all of that, you can then add the extra piece and place that on the front to create a side pocket if you wanted to do that. And that's just simply gluing the 3 sides of the paper. And then just slide it to the edge. And there you have a pocket there. You have a pocket here. And you've got one down the bottom for a tag or extra strips of papers. And if it's a bit tight, you can just grab a ruler or something and just slide it in and just sort of allow a bit of room so it's not too tight. And then you've also got this side here. And then I did create a belly band on the front of the side pocket here. And I just cut that down, I think the same, 1.5 inches. I think the length was 8 inches. And then I just glued the top and the bottom to create the a belly band in there. And it also decorates the pocket here as well. And then I just punched a hole up here and then added some dangle pieces, this, if you wanted to do that. So that's how I made this large size document folder. Just something different from my normally small size. And then this isn't a large envelope that I made, and that just goes in there. I will give you the measurements for this one in my next video, and I'll show you the measurements for these envelopes. It was just I just wanted to make a large one to fit in here. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and my project share of my large size document folio folder. I hope it was a fun project for you to watch, and I hope you give this one a go as well. Thank you everyone for joining me. Bye for now.